ठीक है. Basically, what we did in the last session is we were done with the HTML CSS part. So last thing we discussed was the bootstrap part. Okay. So I hope that the styling thing and all things are clear, or any help is needed in CSS HTML, or because we are going to start with JavaScript today. Okay. So if you have any doubts regarding that, any styling, like anything, okay, you can just ask. ठीक है. Like moving to JavaScript, basically, JavaScript is going to be with us quite long time because uh, this front end is having it. Then we have the Node.js, which is also JavaScript engine, and finally we have React, which is front. It's a JavaScript UI library. Okay. The point is how JavaScript works. Learning a language, like I'll share this document with you. I have all the indexes shared already, so you can just check it out. Okay, and we can continue with this. Hi Adarsh.
Ashendra.
All right. Okay. So I've shared the JavaScript link in the chat. Okay, let me reshare it so that you guys can get the part. Okay, I have reshared it. The point is, okay. So just like any other languages, we had JavaScript also. Okay. Mostly JavaScript is kind of used in browsers like previously when it was discovered. So they basically wanted some dynamic things in the web pages. So I guess Netscape Navigator was the first to use it. Okay, if we go in the history, and we call it ECMAScript, so European Computer Manufacturers Association. So that is the association which maintains the feature of like JavaScript, what has to be included, how things are working, and all those sort of things. The current version we are using, as I suppose, is ES 2017. I'm not so sure, but ES6 has major update. Okay, we'll talk about the update also, and why those update came. That is also one question. So, learning JavaScript and knowing like how why things were introduced, that is one other part. Okay. So probably introduction wise, I can if I were to introduce JavaScript, so I can say that it is kind of a scripting language. What do we mean by scripting language? Any guesses? What do we mean by scripting language?
It interacts with the shell. Like,
Okay, okay. So till now, JavaScript, sorry, Java C++ for the programming language. Okay. So programming language, basically compilation is going on. Compilation checks the syntax tree. If the syntax tree is correct or everything is correct, then it goes into runtime, and runtime accepts the input, supplies us the output. Whereas when we move to scripting language now, first of all, they need something to run on. For example, we are using HTML over here because without HTML, like it can run without HTML. That is not a point. My point is there's no compilation of these kind of languages. Okay, compilation वाली step नहीं होती है. There's direct runtime. Like input plus the code, it will supply the output to us. Okay, there's no compilation step. Can someone tell instances of compile time and runtime? What is compile time? What is runtime?
Compile time is usually where the script we write is converted into binary code,
Mm-hmm.
and after compilation, it is executed. I mean, the program is run uh, to what it's been.
Yes. Okay. Correct. Correct. Basically, compilation is stored the syntax checking if things are at the correct place or not, and once it is converted to the byte code or the binary code, okay, and then the runtime begins. So, if best way to notice is if you guys have seen that there are two type of error occurring. One is the syntax error, and one was the error due to like time limit exceed, stack overflow. Okay, so these are two different error. One error was coming and the test case were not running. But if the test case is running, then it was giving time limit exceed. So time limit. Okay, so tell me, time limit exceed is compile time error or runtime error? It is runtime error, right?
Okay,
Because time will exceed when we will know it when the for loop is running, right? Before that, we do not know. Are you guys getting my point? Syntax
Yeah,
error is compile time error, right?
yeah.
Okay. So others, Harshit, you are getting the point.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So if someone asks, like, it may be asked because it is a famous thing, like what is scripting and what is programming language. So difference, you can just go through it. This one. So for coding ninjas, we already have one article on it, so you can just refer that. It will be. It is good. Okay. So most of the things are already here. You can check it out. I'll paste the link over here, and we can check it out. Okay. All right. So moving with the data types basics, okay, in JavaScript, basically we have. Uh, okay, someone wants to tell, like, what are the data types we have in JavaScript?
Const var let.
Okay, so these are the ways to have variables. That is correct. What are the data types, like integer, float? Do we have integer, float here?
I don't think float is available, but we have string.
Hmm.
We have. We don't use integer, but we use declaring like let, var, const. We usually use that.
Yes, that is correct. That is very correct. So basically, we do not have integer, float, something like this. We have number.
Number, number,
Yes,
boolean,
number,
string,
boolean, string is there. Uh,
undefined.
Undefined is there. Null is
Not everything is there, man.
none is also there. Others want to mention something?
No, no.
Object is also there, isn't it?
Yeah, objects also.
Yes. So these, except for the object, everything is primitive data type, right? An object is non-primitive. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is the point is key. Okay, why I'm focusing on runtime and compile time more and more? Because where let const, okay, so where let const, if you remember that, okay, let me open the doc so I can write the code accordingly. I'll open folder. So this is okay. Okay, so let's get started with intro to javascript.html. Yeah, and here's code, and let me write the script. Basically, we do not need to write that this is a number, this is string or something. Okay, so we can basically write something like this. So let first way how to store a like value in a variable. So let, you can say, number. Okay, number is a variable. Okay, and we can store for different. Similarly, can I do this? Okay, can I do this number? Okay, it is correct, right? Can I do this?
Yes,
Okay, I can do
Yes.
this. All right, can I do this?
Yes.
Okay. Why is this possible? We had number, right, at the starting.
Yeah, because number is just a variable and it takes data. It doesn't care like what's in it. Like it might be a number, it might be a string. It just takes and assigns the value to the number.
All right. So can I say that data type is known at the runtime when the function is running?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is, since there is no compilation, no error will come anytime because there is no compilation. So if compilation is not there and there is no hard binding, okay. So what is happening here basically is it is dynamically identifying what is the data type over here. So even if it is a number in starting, so when it reaches line number 16, now it is holding a string. So that is the point. Okay, so this is let. Acha. Let's move to the next way. Where a string and let's say car. So a string. I hope this is also possible.
Yes, it does.
Is this possible?
Um, you have already declared right where you're using a var again.
All right. So that is the question. Is this possible?
No,
Okay, all right.
like
Okay, okay. Let's see. So no error is coming till now, but it would be interesting. What is the value of a string? String is coming 78, isn't it? So yes, this is possible. So is this possible? Uh,
no. I think with let it's not possible.
yes, it's not possible with let. Like you guys will come to know why do we have so much versions of JavaScript. Okay, why they launched up lots of updates. So there are like 10 updates, and why they do, we will come to know. Let's say boolean. Boolean is a keyword. I cannot use it, right? Or I can use it. Why it is throwing error? Any guesses?
There are certain words or var, const, boolean. You can't use these as a variable name. You can't use those names to
Okay,
declare it.
very correct. Very correct. That is true. But this is also throwing error. There's a rule with const that we cannot leave it uninitialized. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense totally.
Okay. And can I do this? Line number 26 is good.
You have already declared a constant variable and you can't change it, right? It's const. It's a
Ye-
constant value.
Yes, very correct. So we cannot do that. Assignment to constant variable is not allowed at all. Okay. So these were some basic differences, guys. I just wanted to mention. So I hope you guys are getting the point. Let constant value. There is some other differences related to scopes of these. Okay, how they behave in different scope. But okay, that is other part of. All right. Let's see the next thing. Okay, Chrome DevTools. Okay. So this is our Chrome Dev tool. We so whatever variables we have or whatever script we have over here, that is already accessible to us inside this. Whatever errors are coming, it is accessible to us inside this. You will find this default levels which will tell that what kind of information you want to see. So you have info over here, you have warnings over here, you have errors over here. You can hide the errors if you want. You can, like, you can hide the information warnings, or you can put the default level. This is one thing. All right, now we have something called as clear over here. Okay, either you run the function or this, but when I do refresh it, I may lose the content. For that, if you do not want to lose the content while navigating, which option is working for that?
Preserve log.
Yes, correct. So preserve log is the option which will preserve the log. It will not clear the log if you navigate to the other URL in the same tab. Although if you close the tab, that is a separate part. But yeah, that is the point. Now we have something called as XML HTTP request. We will study these things later. We have we'll study about course when we study networking. Select hide network is there and all those things are there. Okay. So there's a thing. I can also check my codes over here. So I can write, let's say, ABC is equals to 90, and I can console this one. Okay, so I can just console log is similar to system.out.println, right? Not this. So I want to print ABC. Okay, just why it is coming undefined? Any guesses? After every line, why it is saying undefined? Because it is thinking that this will return something, and the return type is void.
And
Okay, so it is throwing undefined. All right, moving forward. Okay, how to, so this is a single line. Okay, how can I write multi-line code? Can I write multi-line code over here?
yep.
How can I do this? So I is less than 50, okay, not 56, I plus plus. Okay, so if you just hit enter, okay, after giving the braces, it will do the job. Otherwise, if sometime it does not happen, so you can just hold the shift key and then press enter. Okay, so either you just go with the this one and hold shift key, then you can press the braces over here. Now if I just hit enter, I will come over here. So that is not the way. Hold shift, then return, okay, then enter. I can just do console dot log inside it, and I can. So how to write multi-line code? This is how we write. Index db, will not study about index db. We can discuss what is index db later. Okay, it is used for online games and all those data you are storing. Okay? So you can see that everything is printed over here. So this is a normal for loop we are having. Anything else for the Chrome developer tools? So elements we already know, inspect we already did. This is the box model. This is the style. Next tab is sources. What we have in sources, guys? Any guesses? All right. So sources have all the files which is loaded into the browser. So for example, we have our HTML file, right? So everything, every code we have written in the HTML file is loaded over here. Okay. How can we use this? This is very easy. Okay. How many of you know about debugging?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Usually we do that in browser, right? In HTML and CSS.
Okay, okay. So VS Code can support as well. Okay, so we have something called as debugger. Let's see that. So we have a debugger over here. Okay, let's see how it is working. Now, if I just reload my page now, let me close this. Okay, it should have thrown me something, but I didn't get one. Why didn't I stop over here? Okay, it's the refresh. Okay, so you can see that I have stopped till here, right? Now, Boolean 23. Let's see if this is there or not. So, Boolean 23. Okay. So, it says cannot access Boolean before initialization. So, if you want to pause the execution, it means a string should be there because debugger is after the string. So, yes, a string is there. So, if you want to pause the execution, you want to debug the calls, okay, कि if error is coming and you do not know at which line the error is coming, so you can put a debugger over there. Okay. So lots of you can put debuggers and you can just play pause, and check it out where the error is happening. Check it out. Okay, this is cool. All right. Coming back to the point. So, and for like the Chrome Dev tools, there are a lot of things to mention, but okay, let's just focus on what we're studying. Next point is the data types. Okay, so as we mentioned, these are the five of them which are in the primitive category. So, Boolean, number, and string we already know. There are two more introduction: null and undefined. Can someone tell the difference of null and undefined? What is null and what is undefined? Any guesses? When to use null? When to use undefined?
I think undefined is used something when the variable is not existed. I mean, like we declare some a and there is no value given. So let a be. Now, if you hit enter, it says undefined because there's nothing defined.
Okay, okay, and
And null means I'm not sure how does that work.
mhm. Okay. Basically, so the first one is correct, very correct. What you just said. कि if you don't assign something, it is already holding undefined. Okay. But if the situation arises that you have to give some value, but you do not know the value, then in that case you will give a null, right? So if you do not know but you want to assign something, so you go with null.
Okay.
And if you just leave it away, so it is already undefined. Okay. All right. And the last, okay, so next thing is object. Okay, so what is object in JavaScript?
Key value pair.
Very correct, very correct. That is totally correct. It is key value pairs. Now key value pairs is basically we already had similar something similar to this.
Hash map.
Yes, it is hash map, and the keys are unique, right?
Yes.
All right. The the point is okay. Let's create one. Let obj is equals to, how should I create an object?
Inside curly brackets.
Correct. Okay, so this is not correct. This is correct, right? So this is object, okay, and the key value pairs we were talking about is basically let me remove let from here. So key value pairs, okay. So I can say a colon 45. Yeah, this is the syntax. Colon is there, not equals to. Remember, we have something as colon, and we have the string, okay. So we have this, okay. And how do we access it? Access it if I want to access.
Not.
All right, very correct. Yes, yes. So we already have learned object-oriented programming language, which is Java. So we know not much difference would be there. Okay. So dot operator and data member functions, constructor, class. So we already are familiar with these concepts. So I hope that will be not an complex thing for us. Okay. My point is this operator we call it type of. Okay. What is the use of type of?
That's the data type.
Yes. So, type of OBJ is object.
Object.
Type of null is
Null. Number. Number of null.
all right. This is a multiple choice question. Any more guesses? Type of null.
Undefined.
Okay, it is object. Okay, sorry to break hearts, guys. Okay, like JavaScript is breaking it. I don't know. So undefined is coming undefined. Okay. Someone mentioned NaN, not a number. Who mentioned that?
I
Uh,
did.
okay. So what is type of NaN?
Number. Number.
Yes, it is number. So it is not a number, but type of NaN is number. That is strange. I don't know. Like that is a total bug in the program. Okay. In Java, sorry, not in Java, in JavaScript. That is a bug in the JavaScript. So we cannot do about these things. Okay. So we need to be careful when we are putting these checks. Okay. We need to remember these things. All right. String, boolean. So that is not much of a difference there. No exceptions. One thing I want to make sure is, okay. One last thing for you guys regarding type of. Okay. Tell me type of type of. I'm not writing in the console. Otherwise, it will throw the answer itself. Tell me what would be the answer for type of 34. What should be the answer?
Object.
All right. Any more answers, guys? Type of 34. Think. If you are on system, please try that. Okay. So what is type of 34?
Object only, I guess.
What is type of 34?
Number.
Okay. And what is type of number?
Object.
Okay.
What is it?
Any more answers, guys?
String.
Uh,
Audible? It's showing string.
yes, it's a string. And how it is a string, guys?
Okay, number is a string. Number word.
Yes, number is a string. So type of type of 34 will give us a string because type of 45 is a number and type of number would be a string. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. There are two things. One is operator. Remember, there is operator and there is function. What is type of? Is it a function?
No.
What is it?
Operator.
Yes. Function is doing function call, right?
Yes.
There is no call happening over here. So remember, there's a difference between operator and a function. All right, so I hope you guys are getting the point. Okay, what do we have next? So we have something called as type question. I have attached the link over here, so please go through it. I will reshare it for the people who have joined now. So just check it out. Okay, so everything is mentioned over here. You do not need to like. Okay, if you're interested, I will share something more with you. But everything, each and everything asked in interviews have been already mentioned over here. Okay, so please go through it if you're revising it. Okay, and just a quick look before the interview. It will like more or everything is included. So if you just cover these things, I don't think anything is outside here. All right, let's go to the link. So it says type conversions. Most of the time, operators and functions automatically convert the given to them the right type. What do we mean by this? Okay, let's see. All right, the problem arised because the problem arised because uh, of this. Okay, the problem arises. So why we are studying type conversions? The problem arises because of this. Are you guys getting why it is giving true
Yeah, 0 = 0.
and one is a string and one is a number, right?
Yeah, it is not checking the type.
Yes.
Yes. So it is not checking the type. So what is happening over here?
It is just checking the content.
Yes. So type conversion is happening, right?
Yeah.
And we call it implicit type conversion. What is implicit? What is explicit?
Implicit when it automatically happens.
Yes. And explicit?
It is forcefully done.
Yes. So implicit language is doing it, okay? And explicit is by default we are forcing it. For example, there's a number constructor, and if you write 12 or 13 string inside it, so we are doing this as explicit conversion. Okay. I hope you guys are getting it. All right. So, like, what are type conversions? Okay. So, this is a very good site, javascript.info. I just love it. Okay. So, you have everything over here. So, just go through it. The point is, type is value. So, type of value, it will be Boolean because it's true over here. Okay. And then a string value. So, it will, okay. So, it true if you supply here. So, it will return true in a string and the type of value will be string. That is not. That of a part. Numeric conversions. These are a bit tricky. Let's see this. Okay. Numeric conversions. How does this function? Acha. So, what will happen if I do 4 plus 2? Okay. 42. What will happen? I will not write over there. Otherwise, it will show the answer. So, tell me what will happen if we do 3 minus. So, what will happen if I do 3 minus 2?
One.
All right. Why not
So
32?
if we quote it, it's 32, I think, because
It is 1, not. Okay, we'll discuss this. Okay, not an issue. What should be now if I multiply?
Maybe 6.
All right, it is 6.
Yeah.
Why addition is throwing 42 and all those are working correctly?
I think plus is concatenating.
It is just concatenating two strings, so that's what happening. So that's 42.
Yes, correct. All of you are correct. So concatenation is happening by default. Okay, whereas if it sees any other operator, it does the mathematical.
Conversion.
Yes, conversion, implicit conversion, right? For the arithmetic operators. So this is the arithmetic operators available: multiply, divide, subtract, and addition. Okay, and okay, modulo is also there, so you can just check it out. How do we do power over here? If I want 3 power 2, what should I write?
2 asterisks.
Yes, 2 asterisks would be there, so I can just include one more over here. So I can put 3 power 2. Okay, so it is for the power. All right, so it's 9 over here now. Okay. Anything else regarding the operators, arithmetic operators? Uh, Okay, so Zor is Zor. I hope you already know, guys. Okay, one more question, like that is not related to any of this. What is the mathematical operation computer knows? Does our computer know every mathematical operation? Multiply, divide.
Yeah, plus and minus.
Okay, so our system only knows that is only one answer. So what is that?
Binary.
Binary is what it
Zero and
understands.
one.
Yes, but arithmetic operator. There's a
And or like plus
and or.
and
Okay, I'm like I just need that arithmetic operation. It is addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. What does it know? It only knows addition. Remember, guys, there's no subtraction in system. Neither we have multiplication, neither we have division. If you remember subtraction, okay, so you're just conversion of boolean and two's complements and one complements we did. That is only thing. It was only addition, never any subtraction or thing. Okay, coming back to the point. Okay. So this is number conversions. Okay. What else do we have over here? Mm, so number we this thing we already saw, right? Acha, so NN, the NN is basically like if it is not able to convert it, so it throws NAN. Okay, so that is it. You can check that undefined will give NAN, null will become 0, true if false becomes 1 and 0. The Boolean thing we just mentioned, the 1 and 0 is the Boolean thing. A string, so you can just check it out. Okay, this is interesting. So string, what it will become. All right. So the final some discussions about this. Then we'll move forward. Not string. So these are the constructor over here. Okay. So as I have already mentioned, constructor. So is JavaScript a object-oriented programming language? What we need for object-oriented programming language? Inherit
Classes and objects.
class and object. So that is encapsulation, right?
Yeah, encapsulation.
Abstraction,
Polymorphism.
polymorphism, inheritance.
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 Yes. So these are the things needed. So we'll see that these all everything is present over here. Okay. So not now. We'll study it later. But yeah, this thing is present. Anything else for me to add over here? ठीक है. Just check it out. I guess it would be like more of like dating. Let's not do that. Let's be on track. So next thing is we are going to see how do we write functions and how it is different. Okay. So basically, going for the functions. All right. Okay, functions in JavaScript. Okay. So starting with the function, so we have let's say function fun1. Okay, it's good. Now the some of the properties. Do we have any return type over here in JavaScript? Do we have return type?
Void, I guess.
Yes, we have for this function we have void. That is correct. That is correct. So is the return type we need to define the return type or it is already yeah?
No, there's no need to define type.
Yes, we do not need to define the same concept. Runtime, it is identified at runtime. Okay, what is the return type? Okay, so either it is returning a number or something. So it is defined when the function is exactly running at that point. So it is saying that just a function. Okay, all right. So this is undefined. So there is no return type. Okay, it does not mean that. Can I have return over here?
Yes, we can have.
Yes, we can have it. So we can just return any number. So let's say 67 is returned. So console log is also there and return is also there. So if I run this, why did it? Okay, so I need to call the function, right? So everything is available once you have included this in your script. Now everything is available in the console. Okay, so you can just run it over here as well. How is this possible? We'll see this. Okay, that is also part of definition. Now you can see that there is no undefined. Okay, because now our function is returning something. Okay, all right. Okay, including some parameters. This is a simple function. We don't have parameters. Not this, because the function 2. Okay, all right. So a comma b, let's put a console. So, and I like that the in function, then print a, then print b. Okay, all right. Okay, okay, so it is throwing undefined. Okay, so by default the assumption is if nothing is passed, the values of parameter would be undefined. So do we need to supply param, like, okay, so obviously those are variables also, we do not need to supply. What will happen if I just have single argument? Will it run or throw error?
It will run.
What will be the values of parameters?
It will put one in A in the place of A. And the other will be undefined.
All right, that is very very correct. Okay, so if this will work perfect. What will happen if I supply, let's say,
It will ignore it.
yes, it will ignore it. Okay, so I hope this is clear, guys. The function calling. Any
Yes.
issues in this? All right. Okay. Guys, if you have any issues, any doubts, you can just ask. Okay. So there's not, like in the first sort, we can, if you're not getting it, we can discuss it. Anyways, no return type, missing parameter, no param type. So you can just, everything is mentioned. So you can just have a quick recap. Function hosting. Anyone wants to tell about hosting? What is hosting? How does it work? Any mentions?
Function will be declared at the top wherever we like write the, even if we write anywhere definition, it will be declared at the top also.
All right. It means that it enables us to call the function before it is there.
Yes.
All right, let's check that part. So I will clear this one. So function 2 is being called. The second function with, oh, obviously the arguments are not there. So it is working. Yes, perfectly. That's a good definition. Thank you. So the function body moves at the top, and even if the call is before, just a second, guys. Sorry, it's the time for Air Asia to land to the airport. I'm here only. Okay. So the point is, yes. So everything, every function we have, it moves to the top. Hoisting means these a declaration or the definition will move to the top. So these will come at here, at the top of the line, at the top of the code. So you can call function even before it is here in the written in the code. So that is first thing. That is what behavior of hoisting is. Okay, and it will work totally fine. There is no issues. Okay. Any more hoisting techniques? Like anything else which has hoisting?
Variables.
All right. So can I say console dot log number? Can I print number before initializing it?
Yes.
All right. All right. Let's check that. Just pay attention, guys. I need your attention. It says that cannot access number before initialization. All right. Like, see, you're correct. Very correct. Variables are also hosted. Okay.
Maybe because the data type is let.
All right. So what should I write?
Where?
And the whereas is string. So let me comment this console log string. Will it work now?
Yes, it should work.
So guys, I have commented let and I am printing where. So yes, it is working, but okay, let me switch off other consoles so that it does not confuse us. It's okay. It is printing, but the string is coming as undefined. Okay. Okay. This it is working, but it is coming as undefined. So the point is, in case of function, the definition is moving, but in case of variable, what is moving upwards?
Declaration.
Yes. What is the difference between declaration and definition?
Value is not passed, only the
Yes. So when we write only where string, this is called as declaration, right?
declaration.
And when we to complete this is called as
Definition.
yes, correct. So this is what we have the. So in function case, everything is moving. The definition is moving. In where case, we have only thing moving is the declaration. Acha, one thing we just noticed. Someone noticed that when I just console log number, somehow see the message what it is showing. Cannot access number before initialization. It means that JavaScript knows that number is down. How does it know that they cannot use it before initialization? It means that JavaScript knows that number is down somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, guys, are you getting the point?
Yes.
Okay. It means that how do okay. So I'm standing. Okay. Let's see this part. I'm saying that this is a scripting language. No compilation happens, and I'm also seeing that it knows what is down. Isn't it contradicting? How did it know that what is done? If it is in scripting language, it is running at runtime one by one, line by line. So what basically happens is the file is read two times. The first reading of JavaScript is for hosting. Everything is hosted at the top in the first reading, and the execution starts on the second reading. Are you guys getting the point?
Yeah, yeah. The execution context.
Yes. Okay, execution context is also there. Yeah, very correct. So that is when the function is running. We'll talk about that. But the point is, there are two times we are reading the same line. Acha, it means that everything is hosted in JavaScript,
Yeah.
but we cannot access everything. Everything is hosted. Let is also hosted. Const is also hosted. Function expression, class is everything is hosted, but not everything can be used. Everything cannot be used because we'll study that the scope or the lexical scope of using this variable start below line number 21 to down till down. So this is the only scope it will be available. Okay, not above the this number. Okay, so we'll study about the scopes also. Are you guys getting the point of hosting? Any issue still here? All right. So function overloading. Oh, why did I write it here? Okay, check this out. I'm not sure of what is overloading. Any guesses? Function overload.
Same function name, different parameter value.
Okay, all right. So this functions a little bit different. I'm not sure how this functions. Okay, I'll just check it. We can do put it to do. Okay. Some things I have already marked to do later. Okay. For example, this one. Okay. We'll discuss this. No issues. All right. Now this brings us to a concept, functions and scopes. Okay. So I hope everything is being digested till now. I know that like there's lots of things to be there, but yeah. Okay. Now functions and scope is there. Starting with the scope. So there is something called as global scope. Okay. So one thing you have noticed that if we study C++, so C++, we need a main function and we can write the code inside. If we study Java, we can see that we need a class, then we need a function, and then we can write a simple print also. We need class and function. Whereas in C++, we need a function, then we can write a simple print statement. But in JavaScript, I can see that neither the code is in function nor the code is in class block. I can directly write it. So if I directly write something, so in which scope I am writing it?
Global scope.
Yes, I am writing that in the global scope. So this is what global scope means. Okay? Neither inside class, neither any block. It is outside of everything. The next scope is this line number 47. What is the scope of line number 47?
Function scope.
Yes, it is function scope or local scope. We say that, right? All right. So this 54 and 47 are in the local scope. It means that we can. So these two are different scope. Different scope means we can have this. We can have variable with the same names also with different scope, and it will totally work. Are you guys getting the point? This boolean 23 and this boolean 23 will not throw errors, right? And I can use a boolean 23. So tell me what should be printed at line number. Ignore A and B. Tell me what will be printed for this boolean 23. Let me change this. 56, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, 56.
And for this boolean 23 over here,
67.
67. Okay. Let's call these two one by one. So I will say, all right. I don't want to break it. Okay, so function 2, okay, and then function. All right, let's call it. What did happen? Wait, boolean 23 cannot access before initialization. Why did it happen? Are we accessing it before initialization? All right, cannot access boolean 3, line number 56. Line number 56. Hmm. Okay. And is this 67 printed? All right. Okay. What did I do wrong? Okay. Oh, this function is line number 15. All right. I hope this will clear it. Yes, it is cleared. Okay. Number before initialization. Okay. Okay. So 56 and 67. So yes. Now the scopes have changed, so we can have same variable names. That is not an issue. So function scope is there and global scope is there. Now there is one more kind of scope I want to. I hope you guys already know that, but just one quick revision. What is the scope of this element variable? Is it function? Is it global? Okay. Can I access this element outside the for loop?
No,
It means it is in a scope.
local scope.
Yes, it is in local scope, and we also call it in JavaScript as
Function scope.
function. No, no,
Huh?
function is lexical scope, right?
Physical scope.
Yes, we call it lexical scope. Okay. So for loop and comma, we have the element. So these are the three different types of scopes we have: like lexical, local, function, and then we have the global one. Wherever you see this curly brace, na, that is creating a scope in JavaScript. Wherever you see this curly brace, it is creating a scope in JavaScript. That is for sure. It means that this is also true. If true, let so this is also creating a scope. Are you guys getting the point? If this is also creating a local scope. Can I access well outside this if?
No.
No, you can't.
Yes, correct. So I cannot access it outside this. So these wherever you write a curly braces, it means that in JavaScript you are creating a scope. Okay, that is the point. Now someone can ask, sir, where do we see this curly braces? We see one more place. Key value pairs object, isn't it?
Yeah.
It means that they have their own lexical scoping. Yes, they do have. We'll study about that also. Okay. But anyways, so this is what we have in case of scopes. Global scope is there, functional scope is there, and we have the lexical scope or the local scoping. Check it out. All right. So I hope things are like okay. Some things will like you will come to know when you are writing the code, writing the functions. You will come to know about these things. Okay. So if it is getting, it is getting. Otherwise, not an issue. You will learn on the way. Okay. The point is execution context. The point is whenever a function is running, it is inside the execution stack. How many of you have already got stack overflow error in recursion? Do you guys remember?
Yeah. About
And why is that?
because of no base case.
Yes. So if you miss the base case, the recursion will be called again and again, again and again. And the limit we had in coding just compiler was 10 power 3 calls for a single program. So 10 power 3 calls, more than that will throw a stack overflow error. So whenever the function is in a running state or pending state, running state means if the function is executed, okay, for loop is there or something console is there, whatever the function is. And when the function is in pending state,
There is a no base case or ending termination.
okay, termination is other state. Okay, pending state means there is a recursive.
Input, waiting for some input from.
Yes, that is one thing. That is one thing. That is suspended state or let's say pending state. So can we say that when my function has made a recursive call, so the function which called the function, it is making one more call. So until unless the function returns, it is waiting for the next function to complete. Are you guys getting my point? The function get stacked on top of one another in recursion,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So that is in pending state, it is in a stack which is waiting for the other call to complete. Okay. So whenever a function is in pending state or in running state, in both the states it is in the execution stack. Okay. And when it is in the execution stack, JavaScript creates a execution context. What is execution context? It holds some values. It is an object.
Global
Yeah.
execution context is something that holds everything inside the script. I mean, like whatever the functions they are holding, it will hold everything. And when a function is executed, it creates one block. After that is executed, it will delete that, and one more. It keeps on happening as many functions are there in the global execution context. Once everything is run and done, even global execution context also disappears.
Yes, very correct. Very correct. Thanks for including the block scope. Okay, that is also that is the same thing, right? Block and lexical, that's the same thing. Thanks for including that. Yes, very correct. So similarly, whenever a function is running, whenever a execution context is there, so it has its own variable and environment. Okay. सबसे पहले तो the variables which we have in that functions are there. Okay. That environment that is accessible, that is very similar. It is there in other languages also. If you write a variable, you can access it. Okay. That's not something out of box. A reference to outer execution context. Outer execution context means global execution context is there. Okay. And it is holding these values, and my functions which have their own scope can access the global execution context. That is why boolean 23 can be accessed. Okay. So that is what we have call it a reference to outer execution context. Okay, so first thing, their own variable. Other thing, a reference to outer execution context, not for global execution context. Global is the last one, so there is no reference for it. Third is this. What is this? Like this, like uh, this keyword. What is this keyword? Someone
This
remembers?
word points to that particular variable or line which you are point. This dot. I mean, like how do I explain? It points to that particular one thing that you are pointing it to.
You can explain in terms of Java also. This refers to.
Current object of that class. It will have
Yes,
that.
yes, correct. Very correct. It refers to the current object. The same thing is happening over here. Okay? This will refer to the current object. Okay? Acha. So where this comes in functions, this is okay. Too much this. So this, how is this defined without a class or an object? Any guesses? What are functions in JavaScript? Functions are also objects in JavaScript. I know it's a bit of hard to digest. Yes, functions are also objects in JavaScript, and even classes are also object in JavaScript. Everything is object, like except the non-primitives. Okay, everything is over here is object. So we'll study about this. Okay, we'll do it later. We do not have to do it now, guys. Okay, we'll see. Yes, we already know these two things. Yes, we'll do it later. All right, guys. Any issues till here? Scopes, execution, context, anything?
No.
All right. Okay. So if you have any doubts, what is this what is context, what is execution, what is variable, environment, reference, like what is reference? Just pointing to something, not storing it, just pointing to something else. Reference. Acha. Next, this comes like makes us to function expression. Okay, function expression. What is function expression? What a function expression? Serious. So let function 3 is equals to function. Well, the spelling is wrong. Function 3 is equals to function expression, and this is a function expression. Okay. So we can store a function inside a variable. Okay. Function can be stored inside a variable. Okay. How do we call it? When I say function, what is the name of function? So function expression, right? Function expression. Can I call something like this? Or should I call something like this? Let's try. All right. Okay. Let me copy this. Okay, and use it in the page. Cut this from here. Otherwise, it will. Okay. One of them is going to throw error. That's why I'm cutting it. I will just comment this part. We do not need this. Anything else to be commented? Yes, this line is to be commented. Okay. All right. So we have a function expression. Okay. Where is this for loop coming from? Okay, here is the for loop. Okay, so we have a function expression. The name is function 3. Function 3. Okay. So function 3 is equals to function 3. This is a syntax. Okay. It looks like I'm storing a variable, but instead I'm storing a function inside a let value. Okay. The type of function 3 will be, type of function 3 is function, right? All right. It means that this call is perfectly possible. Yes. The name of function. So function expression. So this is what the name of function is, right? Function expression. Can I call it? I cannot call it. Okay, function expression is not defined. Why it is not defined? because this is a local scope. It means that this name is only accessible. So why do we have this name? We have this name to perform a recursion. Are you guys getting the point? This name cannot be used to call this function. Then what is the use of this name? It can be used for recursion. Guys, any doubts here?
No.
Okay. Although we cannot use this outside. Okay, so we have to use this function 3. So we call this as named function expression. Named function expression. Named function expression. There's something called as anonymous function expression. What is anonymous function expression? Any guesses? Okay, see this.
Just function and bracket.
Yes, correct. So we have this function tree already defined, so we can write, just simply write the function and that's it. Okay. So this is anonymous function expression. So we just only have a single name. Okay. This is what we have for function expression, name function expression, and anonymous function expression. All right. So let's wrap today's session with one last thing. Okay, so types of errors. This is very very important, guys. Okay, most of the developer will miss this. Okay, guys. I have included lots of things in the file, but that is only so that we do not face any challenges in interview. Okay, so whatever I went through like 16, 17 interviews, and this is the gist of it. So just please go through it. I don't think like if the interviewer is coming to reject, there's nothing we can do. But if that's not the motive, if it's coming for hiring, so there's no question we have left. Otherwise, I will keep on including things in there. Okay. All right. So we have all the list of errors over here. Please go through it. Okay. Function as parameter and nested function. This is the last topic for today. Okay. Function as parameter. What do I mean by this function as a parameter?
We can pass function as a parameter to other function.
Yes, correct. So we can pass a function as a parameter to other functions. Okay. It means that I can pass a function, okay, inside function 4, okay, and that function can be called. Okay. So CB is a parameter. I can call the CB. The function 4, if I pass a function which is, let's say, let's not make this Stack Overflow. Okay, so I'll just comment it. So can I do this? Can I do this function 3? Can I do this thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So let's check it out. So yes, I can do this. So line number 80 is printed. So line number 80 is basically the console, which is, so I haven't called function 3 directly, but indirectly I'm calling it. Okay, so I can pass the function as a parameter. What is the next statement? Nested function. Can I have nested functions? What do you guys think? Can I have function inside a function?
Yeah.
So yes, very correct. Can have that. So we have something called as function. We have inner, and we can write something else. Console.log inner. Right. So how can I call this inner function outside? I need to do modification to the outer function. What I need to return? I need to return.
Inner function.
Yes. So I need to return inner function. How do we call the inner function? And the next call. Are you guys getting the point? Why I have two calls?
Yeah, first one is calling the outer function, then it is calling the inner function.
Yes. So calling outer function will return me inner, and then inner will be called. Are you guys getting the idea of two brackets?
Yeah.
All right. So we have this function expression and the inner. Okay. So this is what we had regarding the functions, guys. All right. So this is the much of introduction of JavaScript we had today. Okay. The data types, the function, and all sort of things. We'll be starting through a window and arrays in next session. Please do revise it if it is something is pending assignments or what. Just discuss that. Let's do that part. All right. Before we leave, let's mark the attendance. So, where is it? Where's the link? Do someone have the sheet link, the attendance sheet?
Yes, I'm having.
Please share in the chat.
Yes.
All right. So we have it. Okay. Let me add a column. Sorry, this would not be here. Let me delete it. This would be after this. One column to the right, and today is 21st 0. All right, guys. Please mark your attendance, and let's meet the next week with some more JavaScript. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Hama.